Today on Newark TV, we meet Lisa Lee. She's a breathwork specialist. What does that mean? Well, you're going to find out on Newark TV. So just explain this to me, because I see your name all over Facebook. Yeah, there's posts going out left, right and centre for breath ceremonies. Mm-hmm. What on earth is that?
So breath ceremony is basically a workshop that I've put together. So I'm trained in biodynamic breath and trauma release, and so yeah, that's the workshop that I've created from training in breathwork.
So where did that all start then? Because I mean, you obviously had to start somewhere. So take us back to that.
Okay, well, I was living in London and I was doing a lot of yoga and meditation, and I decided to go travelling, to go and sort of soul search, I guess, a bit across Asia, and again was studying more meditation and Buddhism and yoga, that kind of thing. And then during a yoga teacher training, I was introduced to breathwork, and since then I've spent a lot of years studying breathwork. Biodynamic breath and trauma release is what I studied. Why that as a specialism? Only because within your field there's a plethora of things to get to, isn't there? Well, you could study. Why breathwork? Yeah, I mean, for me, breathwork is kind of, it was the most powerful method to kind of shift your energy and to help you to feel better. So I was really starting to understand the benefits of meditation and yoga, which if you've ever done it before, or anybody's ever done it before, you know, working with breathing and stretching or sitting in meditation can have really profound benefits. But with breath work, it's kind of like a really quick version of meditation. So for me, it feels like it's really beneficial to people like us who live in this Western world. It's something more powerful and kind of quick that can shift your perspective and shift your energy. So that's why I preferred to focus on breath work. So do you think that because of the way we live now, everything is quick, isn't it? Mm-hmm. You know, was that one of the reasons why you decided to take that on? Because people might not have that level of concentration or whatever, or what? Yeah, well, I mean, that, and also, you know, the results. If you want to heal quickly or to feel better quickly, then people, you know, you can see the benefits instantly with breath work, and they're normally pretty transformational, and they're permanent as well. You don't have to, you know, keep going over the same things over and over. You can kind of shift things and help yourself to feel better pretty instantly, and that stays with you. Whereas meditation and yoga probably need more consistent time and effort and work, which perhaps not everybody has that time. I just want to go back. I mean, what really got you into it? You know, have you always been this way from a child, or you've thought about your whole life, your being and soul, and you know, or what? No, not at all. I was really just, I don't know, I guess I was kind of more lost when I was younger. Like, I didn't really understand what I wanted to do. You know, I liked art and writing, and I liked traveling and I liked dancing. But I just didn't really know what I was meant to do, you know, like for a job. And I just found all the regular jobs like really boring. So yeah, I'd moved to London, but it was just a huge party scene. So that's how I ended up getting into meditation and yoga, and they just made me feel really good. Right. So that's why I decided to start, you know, to go abroad and to study meditation and yoga, just to kind of heal myself and just to get a bit of clarity. But then I think what happens is, you know, when you start to explore what you enjoy, then your career comes from that, doesn't it? Because that's the kind of route that you go down, which I think is probably what they should teach you at school, but they don't really teach you that, do they? No, they don't do that. Yeah. I mean, you're quite lucky in a way, aren't you? Well, being able to do something that you really want to do. Yeah, I mean, it's good that I've done all of that work so that I'm doing what I want to do, and that's kind of what partly my work is helping people to feel better, within themselves, so that they can, make better decisions and choose to do things that, that they really are passionate about, rather than kind of, not feeling good and doing jobs that they're not happy in, that kind of thing.
So how would somebody get into this business?
Into breathwork?
Yeah.
I mean, if they went and trained as a breathwork facilitator.
How long does that take?
Well, that took 4 years, but it wasn't really just doing that. It was kind of like many years of self-study and like studying psychology and loads of other different methods that are kind of put together. So, if you want to hold space for somebody else to heal themselves, then really you need to have spent a lot of time healing yourself first, so that you kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So are there formal qualifications for this type of stuff, or what?
Yeah. I'm trained in biodynamic breath and trauma release, and I'm also trained in like myofascial release massage, which is another thing.
What does that involve?
So basically your body is covered in fascia. So have you heard of fascia?
What is fascia?
So fascia is, it's kind of like the connective tissue that's underneath your skin that connects all of your organs and your muscles and ligaments and everything like this. So it's kind of like a cellophane that goes all throughout your whole body.
Yeah.
So the fascia, actually, when they used to do, like autopsies, they would take out the fascia and just throw it away, thinking that it was like a useless organ or whatever, but then the fascia would turn back into the same shape as the human. So the fascia holds all of the memory of how, or what you've been through, like all of the trauma and everything like this. So when you go for a regular massage, you might find that you just have to keep getting them all the time, because your body, because of the fascia, it will just go back to the original, how you were before.
Like a memory foam.
Yeah, like a memory foam, exactly. So myofascial release massage is more about tearing the fascia with long, slow strokes, so that you're releasing the energy and the emotion and the memory from the body, so that you can process it. So then it actually is more permanent. So things like that, I've incorporated into breath work, because it's all the same. It's all about releasing tension and emotion and stories that we've held inside of our bodies, so that we can become more clear and more at ease and relaxed.
This is probably a silly question to ask, because I know how long is a piece of string. Is there a set amount of time that somebody would need, treatment for? Or, I know we all heal, at different speeds and everything else, but is there like a recommended time for types of treatment?
Well, I mean, it's just, it's what you put in, you'll get out of it. So, I mean, some people...
But I'm only laying there and letting you pull me about.
Well, not really. I mean, it's, it's self-work, even if you have like a facilitator who's holding space for you. Because I mean, that's with the massage, but breath work is slightly different. But yeah, if you've got a facilitator holding space for you, it's like I'm guiding you through your own process. So it is work, like you're not just coming there and like you're detached and somebody else is like working on your body. Like you're actually going and you're choosing to do some work. So it could be that you come and have one session and then that's all you need. It might just be one session and that's it. But if you're really focused on like working on yourself, then maybe do more sessions. But like I say, whatever you put in, you're going to get out of it. So yeah.
Take us through a regular breathwork session then.
Well, there is like no regular breathwork session. It's quite difficult to explain sometimes, because it's so different for each person, depending on what they're going through at the time, what they've been through in the past, like what their awareness is around how they're feeling and whatever. So there's never really a regular breathwork session. But so So there's a couple of different ways that I work. So there's breathing space sessions, which are a little bit more on the subtle layers, which is what you've had with me. And then there's like a breathwork
I have
session.
had it with you, not yet.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I couldn't remember your name at the beginning.
What do you mean?
That's the reason why I asked you who you were. No, you wiped all that away from me.
So the breathing space sessions is more on the subtle layers. So it's more done like with talking and then dropping into the subconscious, whereas a actual breathwork session, the client is laid down and then they do a connected breathing, which over oxygenates the body. And this is with their eyes closed and just relaxed. So then once their body over oxygenates, it puts them into their sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight response. So if you have any traumas that haven't been processed, or any emotions that are still stuck inside of you, or stories that you haven't like addressed and come to peace with, like resentments, or there's so much that perhaps could be stuck inside someone's body. So then they start to come to the surface so that you can process the energy or the emotion with like movement and sound. So it's quite difficult to explain sometimes because every session is completely different.
Yeah, I mean, for me, when we did that session, that took me to places where I didn't really want to go. I didn't want to drag up.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Because it really resolved a few personal issues. And I feel so much better for it.
Yeah, well,
I've got to say that. I really do genuinely feel better for it.
Yeah, because you can't really hide from things. Well, you can try to, but normally what tends to happen is your life will be stuck in some way. So, it can be definitely worthwhile to do shadow work. That's what it's actually called.
Is it?
Certain things like breath work, it's shadow work, because you're going to the parts of you that you've kind of hidden in the shadows, and you're turning to find them. And normally, what's hidden in that part of you is your treasure, really, because it's parts of you that have been lost or forgotten, or like emotions that haven't been like felt. So,
I think that was the biggest thing for me. I had a lot of resentment and anger, and like you say, working with you on that actually released that, and it allowed me to reconnect.
A lot of people say that they feel a lot clearer. So after they've been to because I do groups here at Yoga Squad, so often when they come and do a group, like they'll breathe for an hour, as part of the ceremony, because I call it a breath ceremony, and they might release some anger, or have a bit of a a cry maybe, or just some movement or whatever, and then they say that they can think clearer. So a lot of the time it's like processing things that are just inside of us anyway, and then once that's sort of been shifted, then you can look at things with fresh eyes and deal with things probably in a more calm, less triggered way.
I think it's a very powerful system, without a question of doubt. From my experience, it really has opened up a new door, a new pathway for me to enjoy. Whereas before everything was closed down.
Yeah, exactly, because life's not gonna let you move forwards until you deal with things.
No. And actually opening that door has brought a better relationship out of it. And I think it's true in saying, some people say like, oh, you got to forgive, and there are others going, what? Why on earth would you want to forgive? They did this, they did that, and everything. But I'll tell you what, it worked for me just by forgiving. Not forgiving them, forgiving myself for actually allowing myself to be in that situation and let it affect me so much. I didn't need to hold on to that.
Yeah.
It's a case of just releasing
and you didn't come to me talking about that, did you?
No, not at all.
That's the good thing about breathwork is we just tune into what's going on in the body, because the body is holding everything. So when we sort of slow down and we turn inwards and listen to what's going on in the body, then that's when the story kind of comes out. So that's why I love breathwork, because even when you kind of go to like a counsellor or a therapist, you're kind of going with your mind, and you might think that you know what's wrong with you, and you can kind of talk yourself round in circles, whereas with breathwork you're literally letting your body show you what's still bothering you, and you don't have to keep talking about it, because you just release it,
and it really was released.
Yeah.
I remember you get very vocal with this session, yes. Or can do. For me, so where can people go to do this then? How can they get hold of you? Where are you?
Well, they can look on my website, which is www.breathceremony.com. So there's a lot of information on there, but I'm doing group ceremonies. Sometimes I'm doing it monthly at Yoga Squad here, which is down Millgate.
Yeah, right.
So you can find that on my website, and I'm doing private sessions in Newark as well. So they can contact me, and also online sessions, because I have clients like around the world. So we do like online private sessions and groups.
Really online? You can actually connect that way?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like the client, it's you. You're the one who's doing the work. Right. I'm just guiding you with my voice to get you to turn inwards and to either speak about something or breathe through something. So you can do it all online as well.
Incredible, isn't it? That's the thing for me. Is there anything else you would like to tell us before we depart?
Just really want to let more people know that we're here doing these group ceremonies. A lot of the time people just suffer in silence with like anxiety or stress, and you don't really have a place necessarily to express emotions or process emotions, because if you have like a busy life and you're constantly with family and this kind of thing, it's not always easy to like process things. So that's why the breath ceremony, it is a safe space where you can come and you can let yourself actually process things, without like causing arguments at home or having to just stuff it down and feel anxious all the time. You can actually get that release with breath work. So
well, I'd like to say thank you for your time. Thank you for the session.
No worries.
Because like you say, that session really was, it did open up, and if anyone is listening and wants to undertake this because of family pressures, like you say, anything. I was particularly interested in trauma though, because like you say, if you've been through a trauma, that you can actually connect and release whatever's going on there.
Yeah, because people have PTSD from certain incidents that they've been through, and it can kind of really affect you. So breath.
Do you get them to relive that then, or what, or question it? How does that work?
Well, if that's what comes up, see, that's again the beauty of breathwork, because you're dealing with what comes up. So it's like your body's not going to bring up something that you're not ready for.
Right.
So it could be that there's other more recent things that you need to process first, and then when you're ready, then the trauma will come up. But we don't normally go trying to trigger the trauma. Like we'll just let the body like unfold like as it's sort of naturally wanting to do so. Yeah.
All right. When's the next breath ceremony, in case people need to come along?
I think it's like the 19th of March. I might be wrong on the date, but it's in March. So if you look on my website, then you can see.
So just keep going to the website and go from there.
It's on a Saturday at 6:00 at night. So.
Right. Yeah. Well, Lisa, thank you very much.
Thank you.